Hey, what's up, everybody? Special last mile tonight. And if you don't know, welcome to the last mile. But if you don't know my guest, Gig Geezer, you probably do. It's at Gig Geezer. He just disappeared. um, wait for him to come back, obviously. Not sure why we lost him there, but he was not in his house studio either. There was an issue with his house studio, so he's in the van. What's up, everybody? Let me see who's lurking around. Let's see. Hey, Sue. Hey, Gil. Hey, Traveler. And yeah, and hi to Twitter. I did unlink any other things, but hi to Twitter as well. See some Twitter people in here. All right. Well, wait, what's going on here now? Okay. It's you guys. He was having it. Oh boy. Oh boy. We're gonna have to reset the mood, the whole thing once he gets in here. Let me see if by chance he hopefully did not have to text. No. But obviously tonight is based around him being here. So there's even nothing I can really get into until he's back. It's like hey, what's up, Torp? We had Geezer and we lost Geezer. He was here for, I think everybody saw him for a quick second, right? Damn it. Okay, let me text him. It happens to the best of us. I know. I know. Oh my gosh. So okay, you know what? I don't want dead air, but it's also not like it's not the podcast. So I can't bring you in until you know what, let's see what Joe has to say here real quick. So
hey there, folks. Looking for those best deals in town? Come on down to Uber Emporium. We got deals and steals here. Officially forgotten miscellaneous stuff for us, direct from the passenger's back pocket to the seat of a random Uber to you. And we pass the savings on. We got deals and steals. Come on down. Everything's 50% off plus surge. You can pay through the app. Don't worry, you're probably getting charged for it anyways. We do get discounts for Uber Teen out there if you can show that. Well, yeah, you have to be. We don't care about unaccompanied minors in this store. Let me tell you. Not that Uber does, anyways. But anyways, let's get to the products here tonight. Today we're featuring candy, boxed and individual. We got this brand new, half-eaten, half-full box bag of Luden's cough drops right here. Wild cherry flavor, that's the best one. Tastes like candy. I like to rub it on my gums in the morning. Keeps my teeth sharp. Anyways, we'll sell you the whole bag. Or if you just want a couple pieces, we can do that. We can make that happen too. We got prescription medication over the counter and under the counter, and alongside the counter. What is this? This is just a box, but this is Tylenol PM, folks. So for those long Uber rides that you're gonna probably forget some more stuff and leave in someone else's Uber, yeah, don't worry. This could be yours. It could already been yours. Actually, if you forgot it in an Uber, you know, here's your chance to buy it back. But we got Tylenol and Tylenol PM. Let's see here. That's it for medical stuff. Oh, hey,
we got him back. So what's up, everybody? Welcome to the last mile. Welcome to the last mile. My guest this week is Gig Geezer. You guys know him. If you don't, That's him right over there. That's Mr. Gig Geezer. It's at Gig Geezer. It's in the description. We'll put it up a couple times. If you're not familiar with Gig Geezer, you will be here soon. We'll be going through some things. But before we do, and as we always do, but before we do, I got a little 2.5 minute thing to reset the mood and get us all on track here. So let's do that.
I need it.
Do not attempt to adjust your radio. There's nothing wrong. We have taken control as to bring you this special show. We will return it to you as soon as you are grooving. Welcome to station WEFUNK, better known as We Funk, or deeper still, the Mothership Connection. Home of the extraterrestrial brothers, dealers of funky music, P-Funk, uncut funk, the bomb. Coming to you directly from the Mothership, top of the chocolate Milky Way. 500,000 kilowatts of P-Funk power. So kick back, dig, while we do it to you in your eardrum. With me, I'm known as Lollipop Man, alias the long-haired sucker. My motto is... What's happening, Houston? Sing the song! I want my funk uncut. Make my funk to P-Funk. I want to get funked up. I want the bomb, I want the P-Funk. I want my funk uncut. Make my funk the P-Funk. WEFUNK. Now this is what I want y'all to do. If you got faults, defects, or shortcomings like arthritis, rheumatism, or migraine, whatever part of your body it is, I want you to lay it on your radio. Let the vibes flow through. Funk not only moves, it can remove. Dig? The desired effect is what you get when you improve your interplanetary funksmanship. Sir Lollipop Man here. Chocolate-coated, freaky, and habit forming. Doing it to you in 3D. So groovy that I dig me. Once upon a time called now. Somebody says they're funk after death. I say it's 7-Up. Hey, Houston, sing a song. What? Make my funk the beat. I want the miles. Woo! Yeah, I did.
There, that's
Yeah,
that
that's a
reset
good-
your mindset.
Hey, that's right, man. I'm all funked in now. Okay.
Yeah,
And the thing is, yeah, that's WEFUNK, P-Funk, and it was performed in Houston, which is where I'm from. So I'm good.
yeah, I
Probably
think you
performed
were
at the Center.
you were even there that year. I won't say what year it is, but I think I know. I think you were even there that year.
I don't know now. I mean, if it was in the 1970s, I was not in Houston at the time. I was still in California. But if it was in the 1980s, it's possible that I may have been in city limits when that was performed.
Yeah, I mean, it was a hot spot of theirs. That one happened to be from the 70s, but
Okay.
but still, gotta love it. It reset the energy. So, by the way,
Yes.
welcome everybody to the second half of 2026 today.
Yeah.
I mean, exactly. Really, I mean, like, not to the day. I get it, but like month split wise, we just finished 6 and we just started 7, the second half.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think it's a good day for this. And then also I wanted to ask, and Geezer, did anybody else? Did you guys see this person that climbed the couple that climbed the Empire State Building today?
No.
Oh my gosh, this couple climbs the Empire State Building dressed as like Daredevil, but like a black a black version of like Daredevil, like a Dark Knight type thing. And they go all the way up to the Empire State Building top and all the way up to the top of the bar too, the very highest point you can go without any ropes or anything. And they're waving a peace flag, and the cops come and they're like, get down. They got to get back down. But before they get down, live on Instagram, he proposes to her. She says yes. It was such a comical thing. I'm like, what the hell? So now you guys both going to jail for sure for a while too.
They're okay with it, obviously.
I don't know, man. I feel like that's one of those things where if you don't do something to them, everybody will start doing it. You know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I mean, if his intent was to make it memorable, he sure as hell did, man.
Yeah, if they get to be together, sure.
They will.
But yeah, I wanted to talk about a few things tonight. So I know that you've had your ups and downs with many apps. I know you do a lot of things outside of apps, but I did want to bring up Curri routes. I know a ton of people who got off Curri this year, off the wait list for the routes. And I've had a lot of routes offered to me too. Have you seen any where they offer them to you in a text? And I'm not saying it would have been good but you can barter with them.
I've been offered, and pretty much it's always been, yeah, we'll get back with you, man, because of the number that I come back with.
Right. Yeah. I mean, unlike the bidding, sometimes those routes are, but I do know that I used to be a route runner when it was in their car. Now it's in your car, and they only do 2 to 4 hour windows, and you're paid for the whole thing. I always know these to take 60% of the time at most. Like once I maybe did 65%. Like you get paid for the full amount of time. When it was a route runner, you get paid for 8 hours, even though every day I was done at 3.5, 4 hours. And bringing the truck back, I got the money for all 8 hours.
That's right. Yeah, you used to talk about that. Yeah, that was one that you kind of thought was cool. There was I guess, well, I've been approached by them for route, but I've also been approached by them for what supposed was a contract situation. So I guess they're similar. And the last one is one that I actually had put out there on my channel back in 2025, in which they approached me about doing a tire route for a day, but it was considered a contract. And well, because of my having that 1 day experience, I'm like, hey, I want certain things up front. Basically, I want the money had to be right for me, but just from my experience, they tell you that it's supposed to be, for example, like 200 miles in the day. But the day that I did it, my route was like 265 miles. They had me going to the furthest point.
Oh.
Yeah. They
so
had me going to
these routes are coming in, and they're just like the route runners because they got rid of route runners. So these routes are coming in, and they're saying like the last one I had said, most of them are 3, 4, maybe 5 days during the weekdays. The last one I got was 7 days until mid-September. Could I work 7 days a week till mid-September? I mean, like there was no days off. And sometimes you can text them back and say, can this be split to 2 people? And they'll do that kind of thing. But I even asked and they said no. But what it was it was a route in Aurora, not far from me. Start there every day. And it was it was no more than 3 hours. And I know the person who ended up taking it, they have not done over an hour 45 yet, and they've had it for 2 weeks. But it was a 3 hour thing. Every morning you'll go and you'll get the XYZ. And when you're done, you're done. So you get paid for 3 hours. The pay was $185.
Okay. I think for some folk, if what they're doing is
that's not probably the right money, but I'm pointing out that a lot of people are getting these, and there's something to look at for sure. I mean, if by 9 a.m. you can be at $180, and they also have been putting in max out miles. This one was it can't take you over 50 miles. So they have to do your 3 hours or whatever you do it in under 50 miles as well.
Wow. Okay.
So I mean, I don't know. It was an interesting way to get a bid, and I've got a bunch of them actually. I've seen a bunch come in for here, and I know people that are getting the routes elsewhere. I don't know. I mean, for you, I don't think it would work. You have a lot of bigger vehicles and all that, unless they had a bigger paying one that made more sense like that.
Yeah.
But they're interesting for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And that, what I was attempting to say, I guess if I were in this, if this were approached to me, say 2023, it may be something that I would have to consider, because that's some easy, that's some low hanging fruit. That's some easy money to pick off.
Yeah.
And if you're saying that a person could be in upwards of like $200 by 10 o'clock, that's almost your day.
Yeah. And just like Amazon Flex, although I'm not on it, I just know this from many other people, but I know you're dealing with a lot of people. But 2 of the days out of already just 2 weeks, but although it's 7 days a week, 2 of the days, the night before, they texted him and said, we don't need you tomorrow. And he gets full pay.
Wow.
I mean, I got to say, guys, it's pretty damn cool. I mean, it depends on which days you do. A lot of routes I see are like, this is a Monday, Wednesday, Friday thing. Most of them are not 7 days or any. That was a one thing I saw.
Right.
But I've seen a bunch of interesting ones, man. They seem to pay well. And what a better way to start your, if you're on Curri, if you're on the wait list or whatever, just, and you haven't seen anything, maybe email Curri or drivers@curri.com and ask them if in your area, if there's any routes. I mean, they're supposed to come through via text. That's also how the bidding is done that we've talked about before, but they're supposed to come through in your text. But if they're not, email them, because I know there's routes everywhere right now. A lot of them got taken, but there's routes all over the place. But yeah, so I wanted to ask you, so I know he sent it to me. I'll let him talk about it since we're halfway through the year. But your earnings as of today, and I don't even think that's as of today, because that was 2 days ago. So whatever you did in the last 2 days needs to be added to it too. But I mean, I'll let him say the amount, because like Scrooge over here, McDuck, has a pot of gold in a vault room.
No, I don't have.
I know. I'm just saying, for the average gig worker where you're at is not even.
Oh no, they wouldn't even be. They may be about half of what I'm at right now. And that's a good year too.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm right at about 110 gross right now. That's after today.
And mostly in the van?
No.
Okay.
No, most of it has been in rental 26 foot box truck, lift gate. I had some content out earlier in the year where I had to make some decisions. I had to make some decisions that would put me in a position to where I would have some opportunities, have some options. And I made the decision to I didn't, and I still don't at this time have like $30,000 in any of my accounts. I made the decision to rent a 26-foot box truck, and I do it on a weekly basis. And it's been the right decision.
How much do you have to, is it fairly worth it? How much do you have to pay for the box truck?
Well, my just rental costs is about $1,400 a week.
And is that their insurance and everything? And
yeah, that includes their insurance. But I'm gonna have to change it up to where I'll be having this change insurance carriers at some point within the next couple of weeks this month, and get it to where their truck is on my policy. But I've not run those numbers yet, but the costs are going to be about the same in terms of the costs are going to be about the same. So
Yeah,
we're
I was going
talking
to
about
say that even though a lot of people who get a rental car, like if they go on vacation, they just get a sedan or whatever, a little car, like that
right,
ends up being a lot of undercoating type. Like, hey man, you want the rental insurance? You want this? And like you do need to make sure you're covered under your something you have, but a lot of people are. But we used to
right.
do a lot of those box trucks for laser. If we were doing local stuff when I was down in Miami, and
Hmm.
even that with all of the great policies that we had then, which was the late 90s, um, my boss often chose to rent vans, even though ours had like the brand on the side and whatnot.
Right.
And he would even
Mhm.
use their insurance sometimes. It just depended.
Well, in this case, I have to use their insurance based on who I'm dealing with, because um, my insurance company, what they want, the rental company is not going to accept. But I'm not going to pay insurance twice on the same vehicle. So I've
Yeah.
got to find a happy medium where there's a rental place out there that allows me to what they call scheduled auto. And what that is that you're able to list that rental vehicle on your insurance policy. That's the way it's supposed to be done anyway.
Yeah.
And there's a couple places out there that do that. It's just a matter of me really just getting back to an insurance carrier and running some numbers on my 16 to start the policy, and then I'll come back and try to do, work something out with the rental 26.
Hmm.
Now, as a result of me going that route, I more than doubled my income. I more than doubled my production.
Right.
So I went from doing 10, 11, 12 to 20, 21 a month.
I mean,
June,
what items are you getting into a box truck? I mean, I understand it's bigger. I've used them, but like
mhm.
what items are you getting into a box truck that are carrying such a heavier value than if you have because I know your Sprinter van will fit 2 4x4 pallets side by side, right?
Right, but then you're also doing it's all relative. So for today, for example, I had two deliveries. I had like 12 pallets the first delivery.
Hmm.
So 26 he handled 12 full by 48 by 40 standard pallets. So the first one handled that. The second one was two pallets of roofing shingles.
Okay.
But the weight for those roofing shingles was a total of 5,600 pounds.
Yeah,
You're
I
not
was
gonna
gonna
put
say
that in
I
the
do a
van.
lot of those. I do a lot of those hot shot for Curry, and I know each stack is 70 pounds. That doesn't look like it should be. Like it
Right,
looks
but they
pretty
are. Oh yeah,
heavy.
I promise you, those shingles weigh
Those
that
things are,
much.
yeah, they're heavy, man.
Yeah, yeah. So you're not gonna put 5,600 in any type of van, and if you do, you're a fool.
Mhm.
My 16 could handle it, but that's up there for that 16. Okay, so the 26 size equals money.
Right.
But for now, here's the catch: you've got people in the 26 that still do things for real stupid numbers. I'm not. I mean, I know that everybody talks about per mile and all that, but just based on loaded miles, pretty much if it's not $3 a mile, I don't even entertain. What I did today combined was $4 a mile. So I did about 275 loaded miles and earned just a tick over 1,100 today.
But when you say just, man, that's a lot of money, I mean, and again, for those people looking to like upgrade, we always talk about this when you're on here, but like, are
Mhm.
you doing, um, if somebody did upgrade to a box truck or a Sprinter van, and not because of this, don't do it, you guys do your research, know your market, play around on Curry and make sure there's enough business, talk to people, like do all of that. Because otherwise you're getting into like some big money. But are you getting most of your work from like dispatchers, load boards? Are you still using any gig apps that have your attention at
Okay.
all? I know you're picky on them, but
Oh
And I'm not
shit,
saying
man!
you're wrong. I'm just
Am I
saying.
that notorious? Yes, I guess. Okay, I actually did a breakdown. 80% of what I've done in terms of production so far this year has been based on brokered / low board based opportunities. So it's
Okay.
me actually going at it with the brokers. But I've had a relationship with certain brokers to where if I call, they, if for example, the one with the roofing shingles today, that was through a broker as I mentioned. It was a 100-mile run. I got it for $475. Okay. I tried to get
Mhm.
500. Try to get 500. It
Okay.
came out at it came out at 300, but I got 475 for 100 miles.
Okay.
Most people, would be running the church house over that. For me, it's
Are
another
you
opportunity.
unlimited miles in the box truck rental?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
unlimited miles, but I pay so many per. I pay for those miles at when it's
Sure.
reconciled at the end of the week. Um, and so I've been averaging about 2,500 miles a week.
Okay.
Um, so let me kind of get back to. So I mentioned what 100 miles, $475. That was a brokered opportunity, for example. So 80% of what I've done so far has been brokered opportunities. The, about 15% has been the gig apps, primarily your last mile gig delivery apps.
Okay.
I, and then 5% has been cash gain or other 1099 opportunities. And
Right.
bi-
Just hustling.
I'm just going to say
Just
1%, but it's not even really 1%. But just for the sake of filling out to 100%, 1% is has been gig food delivery apps this year.
okay. I mean, as far as the little one goes, I can't even say I'd entertain 1% of my money, but I have done them a little. I mean, Uber Eats oddly, it got me through the first 2 weeks of the year. I don't know why. It was the weirdest beginning of a year. I know a lot of
hmm
other people struggle at the start of the year, but between some of the other apps I do, it's usually not that bad. But Uber Eats was doing these promos, and I worked more Uber Eats in the first 2 weeks of this year than I did all of last year.
Uber Eats, actually, I've done exactly $130 on Uber Eats this year.
Yeah. Normally that would be
So
my entire year for Uber Eats.
yeah, and DoorDash $10.79. I tell you what's happened is that some of these apps have deactivated me because I've not. Grubhub has deactivated me. Instacart has deactivated me. Um, I think there's another app out there that's deactivated me because I hadn't done anything in so long. So I would have to go through the process again.
I get it I mean, I don't get it. I'm just saying I know about it. Grubhub does it. Shipped does it. But
Yeah, I'm
like
probably. I'm off of
I'm on
them.
Instacart. I'm on Instacart too, and I gotta tell you, man, that's probably my saddest app. I don't do anything on Instacart, and yet I can open it anytime. It still works. It does every time I open Instacart because it's so rare. It does do the facial.
hmm
Prove it's me. It's the only app that checks.
Well, I did that one day, and then I come back another day, and I can't even get in. I can't even get
Okay.
in. Yeah, so I realized that I'd been deactivated. But yeah, I mean, the irony is that back in 2023, I'm telling everybody on my channel that my goal was to flip my dependency away from gig food delivery apps because I always felt that you were one delivery away from being deactivated on the gig food delivery apps.
Yeah.
And there was at one point, like back in 2022, 2021, where 90% of my money was earned through gig food delivery apps. And
Mhm.
now, hell, I've earned altogether this year, the exact number is like $869 from just gig food delivery apps this year.
Okay. But most of it coming from dispatch, and what about load boards? Are they relevant anymore? Or are you not?
Well, that's what I'm saying. 80% of the money that I've earned so far this year has been from the broker / low board based opportunities.
Okay. Okay. So you're putting them as one. Dispatchers, load boards, one.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, well, I had a video out on dispatchers, and so I probably have a different understanding or I have a different understanding of dispatchers, what you're probably saying, but
well, that's why I saw that you put that video out just a few days ago or whatever, maybe even less.
a couple days
That's why I
ago.
was kind of asking, because some of these people do want to know what it's like to go up those levels. So like, what is your take on dispatchers now, or what was
Well, all right. What I talked in the video was that I kind of use my writing experience. To me, dispatchers are like editors. When you're writing a book, you have your copy, that your idea that you're kind of put together, and you think that you've got enough to where you have a book material. Well, my recommendation of folk is to find themselves an editor, because the editor can shape and mold that copy and make it better. Okay, that's really the role of the editor, is to make the copy better. It's more than just spelling and punctuation and syntax.
Although it's
things
that
like that.
too. I haven't written. I know that many of you don't know. Geezer wrote for a long time for news and all kinds of stuff. I've written some articles too, and I've had some people be my editors, and maybe it's because I didn't do it as much, but I've had a lot sent back to me with a lot of notes on the side.
Well, that mean if you got those red markings, man, yeah, you didn't do too well.
I mean, sometimes it's just syntax. It's like, can you provide a little more to guide that point, because they wanted. I don't know. It's been a while since I've done it, but.
Well, the other thing, I'm going to say one more thing about editing before I get into what I think about, or at least my understanding of dispatches in delivery and transport. Another thing that a good editor is going to do is sometimes guide the writer in the right direction in terms of if you've really developed the story correctly. Sometimes you don't develop a character correctly. Sometimes you don't develop a story. Years ago, there was a guy who I worked 2 books for. Well, he had supposedly this top-notch editor who did his first book, but all that person did was just all the little crossing of the T's and the dotting of the I's. The first half of his book was not developed, and I had to come back in and help him develop that first half of the book so that it could create some type of straight line to the second book that he was doing. So now, a dispatcher, at least from my limited experience and what I see what a dispatcher do, their main role is to help you make money. They help you make money by finding the opportunities out there, and then in many cases help in negotiating, or they're that intermediary that helps negotiate for the money that you're trying to get for those opportunities. So
you see them on the side of the driver.
They're supposed to be on the side of the driver, because they don't make any money unless the driver makes money.
Okay. But at the same time, we know that they also, if they know you, they're probably going to work with you for a higher dollar than if I come in and just go, hey, I don't know you, man, but I'll take that.
Well, I mean, again, this is where the communication comes in, where you're supposed to be working as a tandem. In terms of the goal is to make money.
Sure.
And you can't make, and if I'm not running, how can they make money?
Yeah. No.
So you have to be in communication with me, understanding what my preference is in terms of, where a run might go, like what's my map. So I would tell a dispatcher, okay, my map is South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida. That would be my primary map. I would entertain runs out to Virginia or to Texas. Okay.
Wouldn't you entertain a run anywhere, really? I'm just asking. You wouldn't?
No, I wouldn't. No. I mean, that's been my
crazy pay. You wouldn't.
Yeah, I would. I'd have to, I'd have to list. I'd have to find out what it is, but primarily that's my map. That's my primary map. Okay. Sure. Now, the other thing too is that when you're out there, you have to have an idea what is it that you want to do. Are you out there to go over the road, understanding that you're going to be out there days and perhaps weeks at a time? And that's where a dispatcher is going to try to get you out there and then get you back with money in your pocket. Now, my limited experience with a dispatcher was that we were in constant communication, but nothing happened. And when an opportunity was booked, I booked it. And the funny thing about it was it actually led to the end of us actually having any type of dealings. So every opportunity that I have gotten through a load board or a broker, I've done it. Now, a dispatcher may come in and be of help to a driver who may not feel like that is their strength in terms of dealing with brokers and negotiating for the money. And it could be that the dispatcher has developed some type of relationship with these brokers to where, they understand, okay, I'm working on behalf of this client. Can you give me this? Can you give me that? Can you give me this? That's what I was going to tell you about with the run that I did today, because of the broker at this brokerage. You actually can get a specific broker to work with. And I've actually met him in person in Charleston. And I was able to get 475 when the guy was kind of holding at about 400.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? Because that was just because of the relationship I've built with that specific broker.
Right. But yet, if he had found somebody like me, he's taking a bigger gamble. He doesn't know me, but he would like to only pay me 400. My guess is he take whatever. He has X amount of money that is to be used. And if he uses more on you, he's just willing to take a little less of a cut because he trusts you.
That could very well be the case. I've done a lot of stuff. Since we've kind of paired up this year, I've done a lot of runs with him. And we kind of came into it saying, yeah, let's make some money. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's happened to work out. That kind of goes back to how things were for me in 2023 when I was doing primarily out the geezer van out of this year. There was a young lady whom I worked pretty well with. And that's why I make the analogy with the editor, because if you have a good relationship with the editor, as a writer, you kind of feel comfortable with kind of being yourself, because you understand that the editor understands that their goal is to help preserve your voice as the writer. Mm-hmm. Okay. If I were to then translate that into delivery and transport, preserving your voice is nothing more than understanding that, hey, you're looking to make a certain amount on these runs, and that broker kind of knows what you're going to go after. All right. So the question is, do you want to deal with? In fact, what happened was he said 450. I said, look, all right, I'm in a good mood. I wanted 500, but I said, I'm in a good mood. I'll do 475. Can you give me the 475? And he come back and said, here's a rate confirmation sheet.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, some of it is overtime. Yes, you kind of prove yourself as that carrier driver. And sometimes it's how you begin to work with that person, and they kind of know that, hey, you're not going to go for just anything. So they kind of know they're going to have to come up with the money.
Sure. So this year,
I hope I'm not losing their.
No, you're not at all. In fact, I view it that way, and I honestly think that. I honestly think if I'm your broker, and I have $600 to spend, I'd rather spend $475 on you than $400 on me, thinking I'm going to make $200 more, because it's a lot more stress to deal with me. He doesn't know me. He doesn't.
Right.
I mean, it's almost like buying in volume or bulk.
Right.
It's like he knows he has a relationship with you. He knows he can trust you. He knows.
Right.
I don't know. That's how I see it. That
and
it's almost worth
taking
a little less money on these deals for him because he doesn't have to stress it.
Right. And the things that what to speak to what you're saying in terms of what they're not having. The main thing is that you're in contact with the broker. If you say that you're going to be there at a certain time, they kind of know that 90%, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be there when you tell them. You're going to provide them the documentation without them having to come after you. You would say it's the common sense things, but these things are taken for granted among us drivers and carriers. So they understand what type of work you're going to do. Yeah, they may be willing in your situation to give up a little more money for you than they would somebody else. That is true. In fact, there's another broker out there that that's I've dealt with them now for going on 3 years. In fact, it's to a point where I've been dealing with somebody who's even higher up in the I guess you say someone that's higher up in position with the company.
Mhm.
He's actually over all those people. And so he's called me personally, or he's text messaged me personally with certain opportunities.
Well, so yeah, so a lot of your earnings this year are coming from this one guy or this one brokerage.
No, it's multiple it's multiple
Okay.
places.
Right.
But there's a couple that I've leaned on a little more than others because they've had opportunities that have made more sense. Now there's some brokers out there. Shit, I don't even deal with them. There's more of them. There's more of those types than the types that I've dealt with so far this year.
Is this year so far, the first 6 months, is it different than how you've dealt with brokers and how you've approached this work in prior years?
No, it's really not. It's just that it's just equipment. I mean, I have a 26. I have access to a 26. And I was talking about last year how I aspired to try to have access to a 26, knowing that it would open up the rest of the world to me. And it has.
Right.
So the few times that I have been in a van where I've negotiated with a broker, I'm still commanding similar money even in the geezer van. It's just that most of it's been in the 26.
Yeah.
For example, 100-mile run in a van, $300. There's a lot of van drivers that do 100 miles for $150, $125.
Yeah. Don't put it out there. It's already out there.
What?
The idiots that take these dumb runs.
Oh yeah. Dumbass, stupid, thirsty fuckers. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
They make it bad, but I get it. The brokers look at them as P.T. Barnum, a sucker. Instead of a sucker born every 15 minutes, a sucker calling every 15 seconds, and so they will play the numbers game by hoping that they can find that sucker on the next call. Well, here's where you have to go into things thinking that you have to have no fear of missing out. In the crypto game, they talk about FOMO, where you make certain moves because you fear of missing out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where the thirst comes in, because they feel like, because the broker kind of creates this urgency, like I ain't got no time, and da, 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 da. Well, okay, if that's how you're gonna go about things, fine, I'll hang up. There's other opportunities out there that may have your name on it. Right. You may have to wait a little longer, and sometimes it does. Ideally, we all would like to have shit lined up by 9 o'clock in the morning, but there are days where it's just going to unfold a little later than what you would like.
Yeah,
the question is,
hotshot stuff that people need last minute.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, I mean, it's not like they're unorganized. They just didn't realize they were going to need it.
Right.
I mean, it could be roofing supplies. I've had those kind of runs at 3 p.m. Like we still need, and that's why they'll use me and my SUV, because I can get them all in there. Problem is, I got to carry all those out, and those don't fit on anything real nicely that I have.
Right.
Like, I got to carry those out one at a time. So,
well, believe it or not, I took some days off late last month, and so when I went back out there yesterday, I happened to catch a run later in the afternoon where the pickup time was like 3 o'clock, and it was a 180-mile run, and I got it for 650. Mm-hmm. That's kind of late in the day. Usually, you would see something like that earlier in the day. So you have to get to a point where you're willing to wait a little longer. Wait for things to come to you. It's like in sports where supposedly you have to wait until you try to get it to where the game comes to you instead of you rushing things, and then you make bad decisions and all. Like the quarterback who doesn't allow for the doesn't stay in the pocket long enough to allow for the play to develop a little more.
Mm-hmm.
So you instead you
I
panic.
agree, and I think that's one of the big things about this year. I think that it's not worth just going out there, and I don't know what your heat wave is like. Maybe you're not getting it since the rest of us are. I don't know.
Oh shit, man! I'm in South Carolina. Come on,
I know.
now.
I was saying maybe somehow it avoided you because even the north is getting pounded hard. I mean, like here,
Man.
I looked and it's not under 96 for the next 10 days.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's like that here, but that's typical here.
Right.
I think it's the heat index that gets you here. The humidity, once you factor in the humidity, you're talking 108, 109. So it's pretty warm. It's pretty warm. All right.
Yeah, for sure. But everybody's suffering that right now. I mean, like I don't think you should be out in a car running your gas. And I know recently they've dropped a bit, but they've been bouncing so damn much, the prices. But a lot of these gig workers, I really think even if like you're full time and whatnot, work your schedule around what's working. Be busy. I talk about optimization rate of your time all the time, but I'm saying like more than ever, don't go out and just sit around and hope.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't, you know me, I'm always trying to tag this in anywhere I can. But more than ever, I think it's so important because I think there's so many things. It doesn't even matter. I know you have a bigger truck. I know that you have your Sprinter van. I know you have this, that, the other. But even people that don't, whatever they're in, there's other ways to do things.
Right. And so all right, in my case, then, I kind of gave the breakdown. So let's say if I had got something through the last mile gig app, well, then I just try to build around that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say then if I have a brokered opportunity, depending on where it is, I'll try to build around that. So you're always trying to give yourself options. Now, what's funny is that I had one day a catering opportunity come to me that was going to pay $300. Now, 2 years ago,
I saw Sue earlier asked, "Is he still doing catering?" And I was like thinking, I don't even want to put this up on the screen yet because he might just go off.
No, I'm not going to go off. But
I'm glad to hear you did one. I mean, I don't know.
I didn't.
Oh,
I was able to see. I had the options where I could pass on it because I had something I was paying. I had a run that I was paying $700.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, I put myself in a position where I had options.
Sure.
Now, 2 years ago, I'd be talking about that catering order.
Or if you hadn't had the other thing, you might have done it. I don't know what it looked like.
Which one?
The catering order. I mean, was it 1 mile and you were just doing the other things? So you're like, well, I'm busy. I mean, would you have done it if you didn't have somebody else or some other gig in hand?
Well, I would have. I mean, it was like a $3,000 order. It was like 15 miles.
Okay.
Oh hell yeah, I'd done that. I mean, and where I'm at, Columbia, and 15 miles is. I mean, Columbia's spread out, so some folk may feel 15 miles, but then again, you think about $300. But 15 miles is 20-minute drive in Columbia.
Yeah.
So, and I pretty much knew where I was going to. Now, here was the catch. I may have flinched on it and not done it. In fact, I would have been. Let me rephrase that. I would be very skeptical of it because of where it was going to originate from. The restaurant where I'd be picking up from. They're notorious for not having their shit together. They're notorious for being slow. They're notorious where you may wait 45 minutes to an hour for them to have everything together. Now, plus
a lot of these apps, and a problem a lot of them have been facing, are a lot of the catering apps, is that I think it's always been in there, but the Easy Cater stuff, they have the ability to click, we'll do self-delivery, and they see your tip. So the rest, if I own the restaurant, I can, like, if the manager from the night before booked,
Oh yeah,
cater,
yeah.
I can come in the morning, open up, and go, wait a minute, I'll do this myself.
Well, I know of a restaurant in Columbia where that's what they do. Yeah. I know of that. In fact, I've talked about
then
that.
Easy Cater does all the marketing for them. They're sending them the clients. And that's why I'm amazed Easy Cater's okay with it, to be able to click, you know what? I just saw the money that we're going to make on, because I mean, the apps, Expedite, Deliver, that, they're paying the drivers. Like, in my opinion, the restaurant shouldn't even see the tip.
Right.
It should just see that the food is all paid for. Hey, make this.
That's how they kind of nudge those away from you and I. There is someone, as you know, that coordinates all the catering opportunities. Sure. And some of them get wind of how much that tip is, and they will steer that order. They have been notorious for steering orders away from the drivers.
Oh yeah.
And they keep the money instead. You know,
and the funny thing is, I brought this up to a couple of the catering companies, and you know what they didn't even lie to me. They said, well, what do you mean? Easy Cater has a checkbox where they can up till depends on which app, but basically up till about 10 minutes before, they can check, I'll deliver it. So, I mean, you could be sitting in the parking lot 10 minutes prior, and it could be, never mind, I saw a 200 plus tip, I'm taking it. And I'm thinking, why does the restaurant see the tip, dude? Like, you shouldn't see the tip.
So that makes us like useful idiots.
Well,
we're necessary. We're just necessary evils.
Of which of these I've noticed, it's not like everyone does it. I've seen a couple do it to me, and I just kind of mark them in my head as I will not be doing those anymore. Like I won't accept them if I see them come in, because I'm like, no, that's the place that it's a coin toss. It could steal it. So even it might look like a banger, but it very well might get taken. I even talked about a place up in not just outside Boulder, where, because a lot of these places check that box and they're allowed to let employees do it. So I mean, it's not even like they're breaking the terms. That's allowed. But then I found about a place that sees the biggest orders, and the manager, this is crazy. The manager accepts she puts that we'll deliver it, and then she has a group of catering drivers where she'll send it out to him. And I happen to know somebody who's done one for her off the books, which was on the books for her, and we also know what that offer paid when it was through the app it was through. And so what she basically took, we know what she took. We know what she paid him. It was about 25%. She was acting like damn Uber. She kept 75%. And on top of that, she's a manager of this restaurant. She's starting her own catering app. And get this. She has she basically has like this lady who's like a 10, right? She's beautiful. And the day after the caterings are done, this lady is her partner in the new catering app, and they send her in the next day as local, and we can take care of you. So it's like you're stealing the client now from Easy Cater too. Yeah,
no, she's getting them all the way around.
I mean, that's
I ain't mad at her.
Though. I know, that's just insane.
I ain't mad at her.
I get the independent contractorship, but again, the apps pay us and we pay our taxes. So I was even saying this to one of the apps. I'm like, don't you guys have to see our pay and do all your accounting and your books based on that at the end of the year? And they said, yeah. And I said, so that makes no sense why the restaurant sees it. If Expedite or Deliver That or whatever, they're going to be paying the taxes and saying, well, this driver took it, blah, blah, blah. They have no reason to see what the tip was.
Right.
The restaurant, because it's already being split by Easy Cater, restaurant, and then app, but it shows up on the restaurant's paperwork.
Man, yeah, I don't know. You know, first time I saw something like that, or at least I encountered something like that, was like in 2022. And they actually, you know what? I'll put it like this. I have encountered a certain degree of hostility from the restaurant people when they see me coming. It's as if they look at us as like we're stealing from them. when we feel as if they're stealing from us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, look, this is why I proposed this to somebody I trust and I speak with a lot. But I said, listen, like a lot, and he fully understands. He does, like, he gets this. And I said, listen, I might see curries that are scheduled for the morning, but I might have taken a catering. I'm now basing my day as an independent contractor on that catering, and I will work other curries around it. But I might have passed up a curry that paid 2/3 of what the catering does, or same pay but less miles, whatever made more sense. I might have done that. And now if it can be canceled, like even in the morning, like let's say expedite, you got to confirm 4 to 1 hour before. You want to confirm it as soon as possible. But here's my point. Why do you need to confirm 4 hours early? Because up to 10 minutes early, they can say we're going to deliver it ourselves. So you've prepared for this great order. You're going to go do it. And then Easy Cater can it disappears out of your queue. It's not, you have no fight. You have no skin in the game. It's just gone.
That's why I'm glad I've given myself more options to where I'm less dependent on those type of apps for that very reason. So, again,
that one seems correctable to me, though. I don't know. I feel like that's something these apps could correct. Just don't show the restaurants what the drivers are paid, because they're never going to take it to do it if they can't see the pay. They're not taking the low pay ones. They're just taking the big ones. So if they can't see it, they won't take them.
Well, it was funny is that they will ask us, some of the restaurants ask, well, how much you making on this? I'm like, that's my answer. I don't volunteer that. I don't volunteer that shit to them, because I know then that they're going to try to figure out, well, how can I get this for myself as opposed to me?
Well, now they see it, at least from Easy Cater. They see it. It's on their sheet too. At the very end, it says tip. And the driver pay is like $10, whatever it is, but the tip's what you're relying on. So they just look for the big orders and the big tips. And again, it's only happened a few times to me, or like 2, knock wood, but I do know of it happening a lot more and more and more. And it seems like, it's something that could be got under control, and it's not, and it's pretty clear it wouldn't hurt the apps. I don't know. I don't know what the reason is. I always think through this stuff, and I don't know what the reason is why Easy Cater would want the apps to be able to say, we'll take this, because eventually I know that they might think, well, it's good to give them that option. Why? Easy Cater spent the millions and millions of dollars on advertising and getting these clients that these restaurants couldn't get on their own. And now you're basically just handing them the clients. Here's the tip we're going to pay our driver. Well, then I'll just do it, and I'll go into the place and steal the client the next day.
Man, I'm thinking, I also do insurance, and this is something I'm kind of telling on my colleagues. But one of the things we face as insurance agents is that you've got insurance carriers that tell you, "Oh, you're an important part of our strategy. You're like the first line of things," and so forth. Well, we actually are in competition with the insurance companies.
Mm-hmm.
They can come behind your back and take your customer from you.
Mm-hmm.
But there's ways of how we are actually in competition with them. I'm not going to disclose all of it, but just know that we are actually in competition with the insurance companies. And it's like, you really have to be on top of things. You have to really position yourself in a certain way in order to still get the customer that you're encountering. Otherwise, you're going to lose them to possibly the insurance carrier. It's
right. And I mean, I'm not on the side of the business there, but I mean, if they see that you're not going to close the deal, I mean, I hate to say it, but of course they're going to throw it to somebody else. Dude, close this deal. Like, they don't want to see you losing the customer.
Yeah, it could very well be that. But it's even.
You think they're even looking long term, like, dude, we're expending you. Like,
well, yeah. I mean, yeah. It's almost like we're the middleman. We're basically the middleman, and so it's their way of doing away with the middleman by pretty much coming behind our back and marketing themselves in such a way in which they can win the customer over us. And the thing is, we can't offer those. We cannot. We as agents cannot offer the rates that the company offers.
Yeah,
that's what makes it. That's what makes it. That's what makes it very challenging. But yet, you're supposed to earn money. You if you got a contract with them, you're supposedly trying to earn money to maintain your contract.
sure. Yeah.
So it's almost a setup for failure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but I would imagine some of the bigger carrier jobs you're doing with, with dispatchers and stuff that I mean, it might not be a hardcore, there's I'm guessing there's some form of, even if it's just verbal, that could mean nothing, some form of NDA. Like, dude, don't steal our customers.
Oh, now here, okay, I see what you're talking about. Now, in terms of delivery and transport, now the gig apps pretty much will tell you that.
Yeah, but I mean, if you can steal a customer for food delivery, good for you, but it's tougher than you think. Because they're not going to be able. They're going to go, can I really trust you? I don't know when I order food. Are you?
Well, here's what you're up. Here's what you're up against, like with the last mile app, since you bring them up a lot. Okay, you can talk to them about, hey, if you not really happy with how the app is really performing for you, I'm around local, and we can probably work something out that's beneficial for both of us. You give them your card, right? Well, here's the thing. Here's what you're up against. The gig app is going to say, we've got a network of drivers. Anytime, any place, we got a driver. You can't tell that to that business that you're available anytime, 24/7, anytime, any place.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're up against.
Yeah.
So you may be able to pick off, opportunities here and there, but you're not, you would have to develop your own network of drivers in order to, and that's hard. That's hard, because you're dealing with people, you're dealing with personalities, you're dealing with degrees of trustworthiness and all. Do you want that headache?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No,
I mean, here's a perfect example. So Jared's in my market. I know of a catering he did. I want to point this out today because I thought it was, I saw the text messages coming in just now or a few minutes ago while we're doing this, but he did a $1,200 catering order today that paid, let's just say, 10%. So let's say it paid
120.
Yeah. So whatever it paid, 120 on 1,200. Well, he got an alert saying, hey, we've moved you up to 220. And I was like, you better check the subtotal. And the subtotal doubled, obviously. So what up $2,400. And get this, it was Burger King.
Oh shit. Hey, I did a smush burger. One of my larger catering opportunities was from Smush Burger, something like that. It was $3,400. It was going to a bank building in Charlotte, and the reason why I got it was because of me having this van.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
so
I get big ones. I'm just saying 20. I know he was sending me pictures. I just haven't looked yet. But I can't wait to see. I want to see what $2,400 worth of Burger King looks like.
Hey man, hey,
that's a lot of Burger King, bro.
A lot of Whoppers, a lot of chicken sandwiches, a lot of Whoppers.
I mean,
what you rule, huh?
He sent me a picture when he first got there, just so all of you know, that had 4 sleeves of cups and like a ton of like the 4-stack trays. And when he first walked in, he's like, dude, I have to take all these. Like, I was thinking, your car can't even fit those. Like, what are you gonna do?
Oh man,
that got talked out of and turned into bottles of water from Burger King. But I mean, they were like looking at like, there was 4 rows in these sleeves. And I was thinking,
well, dude, when you start talking that type of money, you better have the vehicle to handle that stuff. Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah. And most people don't have the vehicle, but they're still going to do it because they're going to try to make it work. It may not look good, but they'll try to make it work. Um, but that's another conversation. That's another conversation.
No, I mean, he got it done.
Barely, probably, but he smelled like a couple of Whoppers, right?
There were a couple texts that see, it was only going 2 miles too. See, through Expedite now you can transfer orders. So I had a few things going on today, so I transferred this to him because he has some things going on with family wise the rest of the week. I knew he needed the gig too, so I gave it to him at the original $1,200 subtotal, and then it doubled. And he texted me, he's like, "Whoa, look at this!" I'm like, "You better check the subtotal." Man. I mean, he knows he's been doing it for a while, but it was only 2 miles. But I know that he was texting me, and from what I could tell while we were on, it did seem like this was taking a long time. I know it was going to a church.
Okay.
So, but I've delivered to this church, and usually they just meet you at the front with carts. They don't even want you coming in.
Right. Okay. The last catering order that I did, it was actually to a Special Olympics function at a junior high school, and yes, they met us at the door. They met us at the door, so it worked out. I will say this now: the largest catering order has occurred on a couple of occasions, but the largest one that I was a part of was a $5,000 order. And it just so happened I had the Geezer 16 with me that day. I promise you, I needed that 16 to handle all that shit. I could not have handled all that in the van.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you wouldn't think
unless
that
somehow you had layered the back of it to a second layer, but you haven't.
No, it would have been a bad. That would have been. You could layer it, but it would be.
Maybe it couldn't support the weight though.
Right. Yeah, it would be. So with me having this Geezer 16, I was able to put everything flat, and it worked out. It worked out. But
Sue says, "Man, Steve, you lucked out by transferring that to poor Jared. Come on, it was a good order, dude." And then Jared's like, "Right? No, guys, it was a good order, man." I told Jared when it changed, I said, "Listen, I'd rather deliver $2,400 for $210 than deliver $1,200 for $110." I said, "I'd rather make the $2,400 work. I'd rather do it. I'd rather make it happen."
Well, hey, he should be happy to have. Based on that 210 probably is more useful than 110.
Yeah.
Move on to the next.
The app we're talking about, next opportunity. They won't give you orders unless it fits in your vehicle. So somehow they knew $2,400 of Burger King would fit.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess one of the so here we are halfway through the year. Are you going to make as much as you've made till now to the end of the year? This is going to be your biggest year.
Yeah, it is. That's interesting. I've thought ahead. I know that I've got other things that's happening outside of delivery and transport. So there's going to be a couple months where I'm going to miss some days. Okay. Looking ahead, I think that August, I should be able, September, October are going to be months in which I know that I can go all out. November is a holiday month. December, we'll see, because there's always the holiday contract opportunities and so forth.
Yeah.
But I got things that I need to do during the month of July and August. I just don't know. I know that I'm gonna have to give up a couple of days. But I mean, I'm not looking at I came into this year talking about just opportunities or options, giving myself options. So I've given myself options. And I think that's what I'm going to continue to think of, is just putting myself in a position to continue to have options so that I can do what I've been doing. If I keep the options going, I'll make some money. I'll be able to justify being out there. So I'm not setting a dollar. I'm not driven by a dollar goal. Let's put it like that. I'm not driven by a dollar goal. So that means, Steve, that you don't predict anything this year.
But you're already within the zone of prediction. Like, dude, you're already like 15 away or 8,000 away from what I predicted last year.
Well, that is true. But then I went past that.
Right. But I'm saying, like, I mean, I'm not cursing it, knock wood, but I mean, if you double what you did you could have $250,000 year.
That is true. Now, I tell you,
I'm not cursing it. I'm knocking wood. I'm not.
Actually, here's what I'm thinking. 2023, when I first moved up to the van, I grossed 112. Well, hell, I'll pass that this week. Okay. Mm-hmm. Then 2024, 107, which is a number I think that you damn near predicted exactly. Well, I've already passed that.
Yeah.
And last year I hit 100 in September. But I'm aware of those numbers, but I'm not driven by them. I hope that makes sense. I'm not driven by those. I
get it. I just always like these conversations with you because I hope that when people do hear them, and I know they do because I see some of the after comments that, I hope that people some people are like, wait, how do I make that much? And I'm like, come on, man, it takes a long time and a lot of work and you gotta get there. But there are some people who are ready to make the move.
Right. And they should pursue it. It's all about if it's time to make the move because that window of opportunity will close on you. That's the other thing. Now, I'm quick to say that there are people out there who are doing better than me. I just so happen to be flirting into that realm of what they're doing now. There's a guy who talks about did 2.4 million. He did it with 8 box trucks. So that meant his trucks average 25 a month. Okay.
But then he probably had 7 employees.
Well, yeah, he had 8 trucks. He had 8 trucks, 25 a month. I'm just entering into that realm of, I'm in that draft. I'll put it like that. I'm just getting into that draft. But I'm not driven to say that, hey, I want to get up on their bumper now. I'm not driven to do that. I know that at some point that I've got to look into trusting people with my equipment. In fact, I talked with a guy.
That was one of the last things I was going to ask you is like, why aren't, because you have other vehicles.
Right. But it's a hard thing to trust people with your equipment. I mean, you're more than aware of the tragic horror stories of people fucking up your stuff and then pretty much fuck you up. But I talked to this guy, and I showed him exactly how, because he's in a situation, he's got a young son, and he's looking to try to do more than what he's doing now. And I showed him just on 2 runs can equal what he makes in an entire week. So,
let me ask you this, because I think a decent amount of the people in this space. I see them all over. I know a handful. But do you think that most of the people in the B2B space's earnings are realistic, or do you think it's clickbait?
Yeah.
Don't worry. For the most part, most gig work is clickbait.
I think it's half and half. I think you got folk that are clickbait. They are clickbait. They're full of shit. Okay.
And then there are some by clickbait. I'm not just talking about like suck them in, and then you don't even talk about the topic, and you just wasted my time. I'm talking about like just lying too about the numbers.
Yes,
like, dude, check this out. I went 1 mile and made 50 grand. Like,
I do believe that. I do, but I know of someone who has shown a lot of that shit.
Ask you, because I know it can be made. I just see some of these people, and when I watch them, I'm like, I find myself trying to judge them. Like, did you though?
Well, I know of someone personally. I've known of someone personally who shows how he may drive 80 miles and make $800-900. But my joke with him, at least when we used to be in contact, was that, these fuckers, they're throwing money at your feet anyway. He has had a long-standing relationship with these people. And he can command the money that he commands or get the opportunities that he's getting. Okay. he's that exception. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But the rule is going to be most people aren't going to be able to make $800-900 and drive 80 miles in a day.
Right.
You know, most
but
folks,
I feel like there are a decent amount of people, like you said, maybe they're not even on YouTube. So again, that part.
Well, yes, that's the other thing.
That do
that's
make
the other
this
thing.
kind of money. They do,
and they're not on social media.
Yeah,
I know of another person right now. He's got multiple box trucks and all. And he goes, I fucks with you, geezer, because you understand some things. He's a country guy. That's exactly the way he talks too.
Well, I always wonder, some of them don't want to give away their secrets too.
Well, because if you start divulging certain things, somebody's going to come behind you and take your legs right up from under you, because they're willing to do it for human nature. They'll do it for less just to get a piece of the action.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I've been rather guarded with what all I say. But I'll say this much too, that there are people who will talk and divulge all that, and they're out there on YouTube. You just got to find them. I'm not one of them. I'm not going to contribute to that. That's the thing. I'm not going to contribute to it.
No, but that's why I'm asking you, honestly. So that's kind of what we're ending with here tonight. I want to just ask you, like,
this soon?
Yeah.
Oh, you got bedtime tonight? You getting old?
I get up early every day now. I mean, we can keep going. But I wanted to ask you that, would you, to the person that says, I want to get into this, I want to do this, like I've checked out my city. I live in a big commerce city. There's a lot going on. I think it will work. Like, for the hardworking type, I mean, do you think that's the case? Let's forget YouTube. Stay away from YouTube, kind of thing.
Right.
Just like, do you think that's something that somebody who's been busting their ass on gig apps for a while has some interest in potentially even trying renting a truck like you did, something like that?
Well, they have to understand. They really have to. Well, it's not so much as understanding the market. It's going to be from once you get to that point, you're going to have to think as a business person and be able to anticipate costs. And this is where I've talked in videos about understanding breakpoints and understanding what costs are going to. Well, let me. It all boils down to breakpoints, okay, where you can anticipate how long it's going to take for you to operate at a profit. That's number one. So it's going to be the point in which your revenue exceeds your expenses. But how then do you calculate that? Well, then you have to hopefully have a body of history where you understand how many miles you've driven on average a week. You have to understand then anticipating how many times you're going to fill up for gas during the week, your insurance costs. You have to factor in everything, okay? And somehow figure out then, all right, this is how much it's probably going to cost me a week. So then this is how much I got to make per week in order to cover my costs, but also achieve a financial goal. Hopefully I didn't lose you, but that's what it amounts to. That's what it amounts to.
Of course you, I mean, people need to be checking their expenses and all of that, just doing gig work. But if you're going to step up into this, you really better be weighing on
right. Or you're gonna
lose money real quick,
very fast. And there are a lot of stories of that. There's a lot of stories of that. I mean, I promise you, there are people who they may not have come at me on my video, in the comments of the videos, but I am willing to say that there are folk who probably figured that I was going about this the wrong way. I had someone really to suggest to me that I should get business for dummies. Of course, I tried to light into that fucker, but my response to him was that, okay, I earned 112 this year, 107 that year, 141 last year. Do I still need business for dummies?
No, you need to cover up where you're working so people don't come steal your gigs, man. I mean, you've kept it pretty yeah, I mean, whenever I have time to watch one of your videos or something, you're good about not saying I'm exactly here. And if you do, it's somewhere that I know you don't live. So it's not your market. You're talking about something else. So you're pretty smart about watching what you're putting out there.
Yeah, I am. You know, I try.
But
I
at
try
the
to
same
be.
time, being honest, I know, I watch, I see.
Hey, that's the thing. I mean, yeah. Hey, I'm not going to show you everything. I always say I'm not going to give you the answers to the test, but I'll show you the concept.
Yeah,
Because when you're in college, that's what the instructor is going to do. At least when I was in school, you wrote on the chalkboard. You explained the concept on the chalkboard. I guess they do whatever it is now that they do, Blackboard or something like that now. So they explain the concept on the blackboard, and it's up to you to kind of grasp it. You know, but also there's a lot of resources out there. You know, you have to sift through this what's out there to apply best to how it's going to work for you. Did I do that? Not really. I think what helped me out is the fact that I've been an insurance agent. I've had my own agency in some iteration for over 20 years. You know, I happen to have a background, at least in school, business minor. So I had certain things working for me already in terms of just practice, keeping up with expenses as an insurance agent. I kept that practice doing just gig food delivery. I kept up the practice with keeping up with expenses on a daily basis and the money coming in on a daily basis. So all I did was expand upon that. The biggest thing that really helped me out in terms of when I stepped up, at least to renting the 26, was what I call time equity. Time equity in that I had over 3 years doing what I've been doing. So I had developed a relationship with certain brokers. I've been active on certain apps for years. So all I had to do was let them know that, hey, I've got this piece of equipment now, or I've got access to this piece of equipment. That's what helped me. So we're talking about something that's been built up over time. Is this something that can work for everybody? No, but it can work for some people. I've had you
have to have some. Again, this is for the entrepreneur people. This is not meant for the DoorDasher who's had a few bad weeks.
No, you can't jump from DoorDash to doing this. You wouldn't last a fucking week. You wouldn't last a week.
No, you actually wouldn't. You'd be back to DoorDash.
Yes.
But I do know a lot of people looking to break free. And by the way, I just have to, Bodie, as my dog's gone blind. So real quick, I just got to take him out. I did get a couple things ready for tonight. So we'll come back. We got 2 more subjects, I think. So just 3 minutes and 23 seconds, guys. And don't go nowhere. You all should be exposed to this. You should know about this stuff. Hope me fill up.
All right.
All right. So
do that.
By the way, everybody should be loving that. And that's one of those things.
Do that stuff.
If you hear that and you're like, I hate this, I would want to know. I need to meet you. I need to know what's wrong with you. Like, you don't have to. It doesn't have to be your favorite music, but if somebody were to listen, there's a few types of music I feel like that. I feel like if you listen to that and you were like, I absolutely hate this, I would need to know why. Like really? Why? I don't know. I mean, if you have any love of music, you have. I don't know. Maybe,
that's from an era. That's from an era where people actually knew what they were doing.
Yeah. Oh my God, are you kidding me? There's Sly Stone is on that stage. Bootsy's on that stage. I mean, this is no joke.
None whatsoever. None whatsoever.
Like they're playing around, but they're not playing around.
No, they know what they're doing. They can tell you exactly what they're doing.
So, you know that I deal with this stuff all the time. There's a lot of legislation happening. A lot of states looking at some really ridiculous things. And I wanted to tell you one, and I just wanted to get your take on it.
Okay.
Oh, thank you, Jared. I appreciate that. You didn't have to do that, man. You know, that might look like you're bribing me, man. Don't be. No, but I appreciate that, dude. But I wanted to tell you, in Virginia, there was a lawsuit, and they have a different. Okay, so for one, in Virginia, if you want to do DoorDash liquor deliveries or Uber Eats liquor deliveries in any state, you can do it, but just by toggling a switch. That's it. You're supposed to, you have to look at each state's law. In our state, that's not legal. Like much of what these companies do, that's not legal. You have to be tip certified to serve booze. It doesn't matter. If Uber didn't tell you about it, that doesn't matter. It's on you. Uber Eats doesn't have your insurance anyway when you're doing this crap. You know, it's very, in my opinion, this is very high risk, low pay stuff that you shouldn't be messing with. That's how I see it.
Right. But there's always a potential that you could be delivering to somebody who's not of age.
Right. And I've pointed out the easiest one that there is. And I've said that same thing. I've said that don't think that brothers, like one brother goes to college, he comes home and he gives his little brother the ID. So like it very well, I mean, like, dude, even if you're tip certified, it's not like you'll be a master, but I worked in the bar for decades. You're like, if you're just working these apps and looking at IDs and you're like, I'm good at this, like scanning it, it might be valid. Doesn't mean it's them.
Right.
There's a lot. And again, there's so much risk involved, but they have the potential to do what I'm about to say, because in Virginia, the Commonwealth makes them for the whole state. Marco Nova confirmed this. He was on the podcast and he confirmed this. So it's the only state that does it. And here's why it concerns me, because if it's needed there, here's my thing. Why doesn't even DoorDash, I know it's always about money, but why doesn't even DoorDash just make you do it in every state, what I'm about to tell you, because they're still getting all the liquor delivered. So in Virginia, any other state, you just toggle. In Virginia, you have to re-upload your license and you have to upload a tip certification certificate before they can even allow you to do deliveries. You have to submit both. My thing on that is like, man, that's really weird, because every other state has laws on this liquor delivery as it is. And just like everything else on these apps, like they're just, and they always just claim we're just a dispatch passing you offers. You need to be the independent contractor who's qualified, know that you're certified to do any of these jobs. That, like, one of them might be, like nuclear waste removal. It's their claim would be that it's not up to them to tell you what that requires, that you need to have all the certifications to do that. We hope
that's a setup for failure, man.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And then they want to claim that they are held harmless for all.
Yeah.
Need to bust their asses wide open.
Think about it, man. Like, it's so that's why Uber Connect has been shut down 7 times. This is the 8th time it's launched, and every time it's shut down, it's drug related. I mean, it's not. Look, I joke about it all the time. Here's my thing. Guess what? Uber Connect doesn't work. Stop it. Like, all people do is, because Connect is kind of what we do, Geezer, except for like John Dash is my example on this. He did an Uber Connect years ago when we were doing Roundtable, and he did it in Arizona, and we asked him about it, and he had to go and he went to somebody's house. They came out with like 5 packages and put it in his trunk, and he had to take it to the post office, walk in, and sign the thing saying there's no liquid or explosives.
Oh.
And I was like, wait a minute, man. I'm like, you're not certified at all. You're not insured for this. You're not, I mean, I don't know if that would fall under some kind of high tier courier work or what, but I know there's insurance that for sure he didn't have that you would need to do that.
Right.
I don't know. It blows my mind that they keep doing these. I don't know what your thoughts on that are, because, like, again, if they have to do it in one state, I wouldn't agree with it, but I would understand if they were like, well, in Virginia, we don't have enough drivers doing alcohol, and it's really hurt us that we have to do that. Well, that's not the case. They have too many, like they have everywhere else. So why not that's one where you could just do it and look good just for once in your damn career. You're still gonna have enough drivers. There are dumb enough people that will opt into this liquor thing. There are people who get it, like they think it's cool. Like, hey, I'm delivering liquor now. It's like, and I get that. It's like a little new thing you get to do. But I warn all of you that is stuff you really
I'd stay away from it.
Yeah.
I'd stay away from it. That's all. I mean, just it's bad enough with medications.
Yeah.
Where when you do deliveries like on
Rodeo.
Rodeo or Instacart. If memory serves me correct, when I was on Instacart, you would do certain orders and you had to get people's ID in order to deliver it. And if they weren't there, then you had to go back through the rigmarole of getting back with the Instacart and tell them, hey, nobody's here, or the person doesn't have their ID. Now what? Things like that.
So on Rodeo currently, you do it, and it's same thing. You have to see their ID.
Mm-hmm.
And match it to the name on the prescription. Has to be them.
Right.
It can't be like their brother,
right?
Like or whatever. Has to be them. That comes to the
but
door.
They're putting all the onus on. They're putting all the onus on us, the driver.
Right.
Where's their responsibility?
I'm not for it either. Again, be careful with this stuff because. I think that and you're a good person to understand this. Insurance is needed. You're a perfect guest for this. You work in insurance and you work in vehicles where you need to carry a lot of insurance. So, dude, this is not food delivery. Even then you gotta be careful, but this isn't right. You're stepping into new realms for $2 more on the same platform. And I know that they make it look real and legal and it's all good because it's on the app.
Well, if you talk about from an insurance standpoint, I'm just thinking, when you deal with a broker, there's your liability insurance for a vehicle. Then there's your cargo insurance that you have to have, and then there's your commercial general liability that you have to have. Right. As an insurance agent, you have to have what's called errors and omissions. If you're there has either the app should provide it per delivery, or you need to invest in some type of insurance that's going to cover you for the potential liability in those situations. That's the only thing that's going to save your hide. Otherwise, you're putting yourself at great risk with dealing with those type of things.
Great risk, man. Maybe I'm wrong, and feel free to, if you think so, just jump right in, man. But I've told people this could be a life wrecker.
Yes, because they're going to come after you.
One of these could be a life wrecker.
They're going to come after you. They're going to come after you, and you ain't got you don't have a credit card whose limit high enough to cover what they can come after you for.
No. So even before I move into this other part of that, I'll even throw out because of the insurance part of you that I want to ask about this. Uber teen, what the hell, dude? I mean, I just read another story the other day about an autistic kid. I said it on the podcast yesterday. That there was an autistic kid who got out at 5:55 a.m., took an Uber to JFK and tried to board a plane for 11-year-old, tried to board a plane for Japan. And the parents woke up frantic, looked through the Ring doorbell, saw him get into a black car, blah, 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 blah. Got a call from TSA and said that he showed up there without money and they had him. But I mean, that's a good incident. I have a lot of horror stories I don't want to even go to that I've already talked about with people too. They're ugly, horrible ones already with kids. But here's my thing about that. On that one, you're even more dead. And I'm sick of people who argue with me on this one, because if you want to explain why this wouldn't be true, but I just cannot, because again, you're going to be responsible. I cannot see. I don't think any driver out there carries insurance that you need to drive teens around. This is why, in fact, why most of the hop skip drives around the country go out of business is insurance. I know this.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
how in the hell is any driver covered to do Uber Teen?
They're not. They're not.
Even,
I mean,
not even one. I'm not even kidding.
You
There's
basically
not one out there.
you basically need livery. You need the true livery insurance to even give yourself a starting chance. But then there should be where you have some type of you're dealing with kids. Think about what as a school bus driver. There's shit that you go through before you're allowed to pick up kids.
Yeah.
Your background is scrutinized, among other things. There should be, if you're going to do that, there has to be some type of scrutiny that you go through in terms of dealing with kids. You can't use the checker background as what
No. They don't even do fingerprint.
See, a good attorney will fuck you forever.
Right.
They'll fuck you into the next life.
Yeah.
And the life after that, because and Uber, of course, they're gonna play dumb and don't know nothing. It's on the driver.
Yeah, the driver took the ride. He's an independent contractor. He's supposed to know what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
We just presented an offer to him.
Well, ask Lolita Hall about that. Lolita Hall was the lady.
It sucks because it seems like you should be able to argue the point of like, yeah, dude, but they're pretty deceitful in the fact that they know something they're not telling you. Is why I battle for transparency. But again, I do believe in the end, you are screwed, dude. Like, no, and I'm wondering if not even one single driver in the United States for Uber has the proper Uber in teen insurance.
Look,
I know that sounds ridiculous, like not even one. But if anyone knows one, please email me.
I recall in my driving experience with Rideshare where I had a kid to try. Well, I remember Lyft and Uber saying, "Oh yeah, you could pick them up." Supposedly you could pick them up, but I wouldn't. No. And this is 2017, 2018. I caught one basically trying to catch a ride. And I'm like, "How old are you?" I'm 16. Oh, I can't do it, man.
Well, in 16, 17, 18, 19, I mean, I was doing a ton of rideshare too. And that's when they wanted you to cancel for unaccompanied minor and they paid you $5.
Yes.
They paid you.
Right. Yeah. I said, you got to have somebody 18 or more or older with you.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can have you in my vehicle.
Yeah, no, and and again, it was another for drivers that weren't doing it back then. It was just another one of those things where you'd sometimes be sitting there and the parent would call and just bring them out. And I can't do this.
Right.
Well,
why you can't? It's a liability, man. It's liability.
Like, bad parenting too. Like, why are you sending him with me? You know nothing about me.
Yeah, I would tell them, hey, look, I got a daughter your child's age. I would not let my daughter, if I catch her doing that, she'd have to answer up to me.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. But I mean, as the insurance part of you,
mm-hmm.
for the people out there who have said, no, Uber Teen is fine because it wouldn't be on the app if it's not. What is your elevator reply?
I hate to say it, you're grown, you're gonna do what you're gonna do, but I wouldn't do it. That's my first thought. I would not have anything to do with a kid, because if anything, that kid could turn around and say that you did something to them or you said something to them.
Or that you exactly did something to him, touched him, whatever, or her or whatever.
Right.
And that all could happen. And you could have a dash cam too. And you could say, I have a dash cam, I'm good. But guys,
don't mean shit. Don't mean shit
really,
because
they're
don't mean shit because
I'm blown away. Like, why would you do this?
As you well know, you're presumed guilty. You have very little chance of proving yourself otherwise. Of course, when I was doing Rideshare, the Lyft app was the app that you had a chance to at least fight some of the allegations that a rider would try to crop up against you. Uber has always listened to has always taken what the writer has said as gospel. I've got something from 2017 that didn't involve kids and all that stuff, but where they took up what a writer said was an absolute fucking lie, and I had to prove to them with receipts that it was far from what that writer said. But when you're dealing with a child, man, child can say anything, and you're fucked. You're fucked.
I mean, you really just see, and that's what I've been saying to people, and I think people are like, you can't be that definitive about it. You don't know. Well, I mean, first of all, I've had insurance agents on the podcast before. This is episode 593 tonight. I mean, I've done a fair share, but I'm just saying, like, I just can't. I say it because I truly believe it. I think you're screwed. I think you're not only rolling the dice, I think you have no idea
what you're exposing yourself to. Yeah.
I mean, and it's not rare. It's not like super, it won't happen. It's almost more likely that it would, because any little thing.
Anything.
I don't
let's
know.
Let's say you're in an incident, a traffic incident. You got a child in your vehicle.
Yeah. I mean, but the other thing is, I've seen the commercials. I've seen them on TikTok. I've seen them other places for Uber Teen. They make it look like awesome. Kid comes and has his breakfast, and mom's like, "You got to get out," and runs out to like this beautiful looking car, not the rundown X that you'd get where the guy's clothes are all in the back dirty and he lives in his car. To me, I'm just like, dude, this is messed up, because it used to be no unaccompanied minors. Now it's minors. It was 13 to 17. Now it's what, 10 to 17.
Oh,
they brought it down, dude.
Well, of course, this is way different time, different era, and I'm just thinking as cab drivers. Okay, I remember my mother had an arrangement with a cab driver to take me to what was, I guess you say, nursery school in Houston.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
And I'm like 3, 4 years old.
Okay.
Every day the guy would come, and pick me up, take me there, pick me up, take me back to my grandmother's place at the time. We're talking different time, different era. I don't think
same person.
Same person.
Okay, well, that's a lot different too, man.
Well, but again, different time, different era.
Yeah.
We're talking 60 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
I know I'm telling on myself, but I don't think you can do that now. Not in 2026.
No,
I don't think you can do that.
No. And I was spotlighting how it's very weird, because you'll see the trend here. Uber's dispatching the ride. We have an Uber Teen ride. The driver's taking it. You're the independent contractor. You're completely responsible for everything you do and having the right certifications. You don't have them. They don't exist. You would have to be an S corp or some kind of real business that has a track record before they would even, or a nonprofit, before they would even consider giving you such a thing. But so you're not insured. Your insurance, in fact, if you're like, I'm insured good through a A-rated company, they're going to walk away from you when it involves a kid. You're done.
Mm-hmm.
They're not
right.
They're going to, I think that's probably even, they'll find it in the actual context of the agreement you signed that, nope, right here, you know, like they'll just walk away. So that's why I say life ender. I think it's a life ender.
Yes,
I think that
I
if
agree.
you do this, you could have one ride that your
And
life
that'd
is
be
over. Yeah, you're going to be either in jail, paying this off forever.
Yes. Yeah,
you know?
I agree. Like I said, you'd be fucked into the next life and the life after that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess the point there is, I know it sounds weird to so many people, but it's true. If you're catching this and you're thinking, and you're new to some of this stuff or whatever, and you're going, what? I'm telling you, just because it's on the app doesn't make it legal. You have to be legal doing whatever you're doing.
Yeah. Or very simply, not all money is good money. If you can remember that.
Yeah. So here was the other thing I wanted to ask you about Virginia, though. So Virginia can sue the apps. So flex drivers there was a lawsuit with some Amazon flex drivers not Amazon drivers W-2, Amazon Flex drivers. And across the board, unanimously, they were declared to be employees due to the degree of control the company has over those workers. That's the A prong of the ABC test. They just failed it. And now they're dealing with what that's going to mean. Do you think this ABC test is very common? It's going to come to a lot of states. Do you think that any app is safe when that's the first one, due to any degree of control that the company's not supposed to have any control over an independent contractor?
Do I think any app is safe
or whatever? They're just supposed to full transparency and give you, and that's it. And
all right, so that means DoorDash is on the hook.
Yep.
Uber's on the hook.
Yep.
Lyft is on the hook.
Yep.
Instacart is on the hook.
Yep.
Grubhub is on the hook.
Yep.
I mean, I'm going down the list, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, and especially the ones that aren't 100% transparent. That's another whole problem.
Right.
But I mean, this is a whole thing where now they've been declared employees. So the question now in Virginia is, will they be giving some kind of hybrid status?
Well, if they're employees, they're
going to be employees, and that means Flex is over there.
Right. They also would be due back pay.
Yeah, I mean, but I was starting to think, like, man, this would mean there are no Flex drivers. They would just take on a few more full times. And that's because I guess I'm using that one as because any other app, we already know some of the legislation, they'll leave the state. They have to now. And they've said it, they'll do it if they had to, because the state will bring them back. They'll find a way to bring them back. But I mean, this one's weird because they do have driver employees and they do have Spark employees or contractors. And now the state of Virginia said, you have too much control on those or not Spark, Flex, on those Amazon Flex drivers. Okay, so what does that mean? It means they're employees. Okay, what is that? I mean, do they need benefits? Are they getting hourly? Like, what now? I mean, it's in that situation, and I was curious what you thought about that, because that's something that a lot of states are going to face with a lot of. I don't know which one of these apps they're going to pull at a time.
Well, I've mentioned with 5 or 6 that are going to potentially be on the hook. If they then classified as an employee, you go. I mean, I'm just thinking that you're going to go down the list of the things that a W-2 is afforded. They're going to probably go back and look at, were they adequately compensated? Did they have, was there certain safety measures to implemented, since they're employees and not an independent contractor who pretty much takes on all the risks? They were going to want to know, are there actual procedures, safety procedures or just operational procedures that are in place? You may throw out there the benefits thing, but I'm thinking that those 3 things right from the top are going to be explored. And then the question is going to be, would Amazon Flex continue to do business, or would they shut it down and just move all the Amazon Flex business to the DSPs, the vans?
Because here's my thought, how it's really bad against Amazon in this case, because not only is this happening, and it can be easily proved, but they actually, everything you just said, but they can just say, well, you have W-2 employees. Did all of the Flex drivers get the same training as them? Right. And I think there they lose. They lose right there.
Oh, absolutely, because when you do Flex, you've got some stuff that you see on your phone, and that's pretty much it as far as your training. And what I recall from Flex, all you're getting are these friendly, well-written emails that warn you of certain things, that threaten you of getting kicked off the app if you continue to get these type of warnings and things like that. But here's the thing: when you start dealing with the vans take on the risk. They take on the the liability of training people properly. Same thing like Federal Express. So I agree with you with, the question about, are they being trained as like the DSPs? Because there is a conscious effort by the DSPs. DSPs mean delivery service partners. Again, but you see in the communities, the vans, the Amazon vans or rental vans would have Amazon delivery on them. Those are actual employees of contractors. So it'd be me having a fleet of vans and hiring these people and implementing, certain practices and procedures to ensure that they're doing what they're supposed to do.
Right.
Well,
and actually bringing the way it works in a nutshell too, you're paid less. We'll just leave it at that. You're paid way less.
Yes. Yeah. Again, that Amazon is notorious. Amazon has built up a fucking $1 trillion enterprise by not assuming any liability.
Yeah. I mean,
and it's clearly stated. It's clearly stated in their shit. They say that, hey, we are held home in their contracts and all their one-sided contracts. We are held harmless, and you got to agree to it.
Yeah.
So if the shit happens, don't come to us. Go to them.
Yeah, I honestly think I think it just ends with, man, they're just gonna walk into court and say, you have W-2 employees. Show us all their training. So every flex driver had that too?
No, they don't. They would not.
No, right. And right there, they'll go, nope. And they'll say, well, then they're all employees and they were misclassified. And you're going to be hit with this. And like you were saying, some back pay. But then they'll have to pay for unions. And unions will come in. And oh my God, dude. And at the end of the day, my guess, they'll make less money.
Well, I think in the case of Amazon, they'll just shut down Flex in that state and just move all that volume to the vans.
Oh yeah, sure. I just meant like maybe they'd take some of the Flex drivers over for the vans. Like we need about 10% of you.
No, I guess. I mean,
it would look good.
Guess they could
for PR.
I guess they could do that by saying, "Hey, look, we will shuttle some of y'all. We'll try to shuttle some of y'all to the vans." But I think what will end up, the likely scenario is that they're out of that opportunity, and it's up to them to contact the vans to see if they're looking for people. But I could be wrong. More likely, I'm wrong. But I'm just thinking that that's one option that they would entertain if they are held on the hook for something like that.
Okay.
So that's just my guess. You're far more. You've got your pulse to that far more than I would. I mean, I did Amazon Flex back in 2018, 2019. So, and I understand Amazon. I probably understand Amazon a little better than what I'm giving myself credit for. But again, Amazon Flex is really a necessary evil. From what I recall, just from my experience, the Amazon Flex kind of opens a market, and then once you get that footprint in the market, as far as beginning to deliver the volume out to the residences and the businesses, then they're looking also to build up that market with the vans. And
Traveler does just Flex these days, pretty much.
And so Flex just is a necessary evil. Now, yes, they're supposedly, Amazon is also building up Amazon has built itself up to where it is the fourth logistics company out there. They're mentioned in the same conversation as DHL, Federal Express, and UPS. They've built up to where I would
imagine, man, they're huge.
Oh yeah, they have. They've built up to where they've got their own logistics. You got your Amazon 53 footers. You got your Amazon planes like Federal Express. They've built up to that. They've got the other parts of their logistics network. They're here to stay.
Oh yeah.
It's just that I don't think that they can get by without Amazon Flex. If push come to shove, they can get by without that. They've got other facets of their network, of their logistics network, their final mile network that can handle that.
So just so you know, that's the A prong. The B prong of the ABC test. This is the one that nobody can pass. You can't pass this. The B prong says that you are contracting work for a company that you are not doing any of their primary ways of earning. So like DoorDash, they can't hire a DoorDash dasher, but they can hire a plumber to come to the office and fix the plumbing as an independent contractor under B. You can't, like, their primary business is food delivery. Hence, they can't, the B prong says, can't be in the same line of work as the company. Because I think the reason it's there is because, and I'm sure you'll get this, it must have at some points in time over the years been a labor scam. You know what I mean? Where because I don't know, clearly they're concerned about them not wanting to pay employee taxes and and all of this.
Of course.
But yet every independent contractor is doing exactly their line of business. So it doesn't pass that. It fails that too. And then the C prong is the last is that 60, it depends on the state's labor law, but 60 to 70% of your income doing whatever you do, rideshare, let's say rideshare, 60 to 70% has to come from your personal clients, not from apps.
That's us or the company.
This is the test that is put to any independent contractor if ABC goes in a state, and it's passing in a lot of states. So my point is, you can't pass any of those.
Okay.
I mean, you can't. I mean, if you're doing DoorDash, if you deliver food, you can't do it for DoorDash.
Right.
I mean, again, it depends on how the state does it. Like California did it under their AB5, they had the ABC test, but then they pushed for a Prop 22 that everybody calls it, and they got screwed over time with that. But nonetheless, they had to put it on a ballot and get, what was it? They won by like 6 million votes, or it was like 60% to 40%. It won by like 6 million votes in the state of California. And the only reason that Uber and those companies won was because people there didn't want to give up as much as they didn't want to vote with the companies. They didn't want to lose access to these platforms, but they gave them a carve out. I don't know. I feel like people don't understand like how harsh some of this legislation can be. And it's scary. Like right now, the biggest one people can look at and see exactly how hard it is what's going on to what's about to happen to the rideshare drivers in Chicago is just awful. Just awful. I was talking about the other day, but before we get out of here, what is your advice to, so you're going to have to take it down out of your earnings area. He's too high, guys. He's too, and I mean this in the best way, but you also have expenses and stuff too. I get it, but he's too high an earner and he's doing something very different, but he understands the gig space too. So to the people,
I'm no different than the next person because I started out in rideshare. I've talked about Amazon Flex. I did that. I've worked all the way up to what I've been doing. But anyway.
So here's my thing. What would you tell in 2026? What do you tell the gig worker who is going to stick it out? Like they're going to stick it out, whether you tell them to or not. That's not where you have a say in it. But they're either doing just DoorDash. Maybe they live in a very rural market. I always say this too, like you might only have 2 or 3 options. I don't know. It depends how big your town is. But let's say they live in a big city. They're going to continue to do it. They have a few apps that work for them. They keep piecemealing it together. What is your advice to the DoorDasher that goes out there every day and works, or they leave their house for 10 hours, but then when they email me, they tell me how much they made per hour based on the active hours, and all they used was DoorDash. And I'm like going, the active hours were the hours you left the door till you got home. That's 10. You know, it's not 4.5 or whatever you dashed.
Right.
But to all of this stuff, like, what do you tell these people? Like, I mean, is it every market's different? We all know this, but as an overall statement, you know, like, you know, is it time to, I mean, first of all, as many streams of income as possible. You and I have always agreed on that. But like, is it time to like spread your wings and maybe start, even if like you're like, well, it's been picking up, because it always is going to do all that crap with you. So, but is it time to maybe do something else a little bit, or is it?
Man, that's a hard thing.
I know it's market to market too. You never can tell how somebody's doing. But I will say there's some markets where some of the people are very, it's very like, wow, that's pretty rare.
I mean, I saw some. Hopefully, I'm gonna get to where I answer your question. Right? I saw a content creator's video where he's talking about how someone says they're making $1,500 a week doing rideshare. Okay, I remember a time when there were people who did $1,500 in a Friday, Saturday, Sunday weekend. Okay. I don't, quite honestly, I don't know if I would have the temerity, that's a nice word for saying the balls, to venture into the gig economy space as what we see now. I don't know if I would.
No. I probably wouldn't either, or most wouldn't, I would assume. But I'm saying the ones who are here, and maybe even part of it is just, dude, stop going out for 10 hours a day. It's not the old days. Go out when it's busy, man. Or like,
I've seen people talk about, well, they go out certain times a day and all. You know what? But
there is a lot of people who still go out all day. I'm talking about 10, 11 hours.
It could be that they really just not learned how. Damn it! See, here's the thing. I say that a lot of folk get sucked in on these advertisements by these gig apps, like a DoorDash. They talk about, hey, I'm making money on doing deliveries on my own time. I think that's the way the app deliveries. It used to be the ads were you can make X number of dollars an hour. Well, they've changed it now. Okay, I have the flexibility to make money when I want to, whenever I want to. And then you go out there and you spend 10 hours and you ain't made shit. Okay. But to the person who wants to make it, I guess what you have to go back to are the basics, as what we've learned coming along in the gig economy. You have to go into this creating as many options as you can. If you're looking to do this if you're looking to gig work to replace you doing W-2 work, you have to go into this treating this as a fucking business. Yeah. But a lot of folk don't know first thing about business.
I've been saying lately, if you already got fired or you just can't handle the job anymore, okay, a different story. But like if you're making the transition from W-2 to gig work, stay part-time at your W-2.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You might just hate it over here.
Yeah, I mean, but then that's when people say, "Oh, you're a hater. You're just trying to chase people away." No, I'm trying to be realistic about this.
No, be honest and have an honest conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking that you have to treat it as a business. But if you don't know first thing about business, well, that's going to hurt you as well. So you need to learn something about business.
Yeah.
Okay. Then what else? You have to understand that you have to make the apps work for you and you not work the apps working you. Am I making sense of that?
Oh yeah.
You have to make the app work for you to your advantage. Because if you're not attuned to this, it's going to be where you, at some point, you may realize, but chances are you may not, that you are just working. The app is just running you around like a damn fool.
Yeah.
That's not the goal.
I mean, you know me, man. I fight for transparency, and I tell everybody just avoid the metrics. No matter how many people will say they matter, I still say to everyone, who cares,
Right.
dude? They don't
I'm
matter.
just thinking. I'm just thinking along the basics.
Yeah.
Can you make money doing it? You can, but it's how you go about doing things. I mean, first, but you also have to be realistic. For as many success stories are there out there, for every excuse me, for every one success story that is out there, there's likely to be 20, 25 failures.
Right.
So you can't come in thinking.
And there's a lot of part-timers who, by that I mean like one night a week for 4 hours.
Yeah, and they're okay with that.
Yeah.
They're okay with that.
Yeah.
And hey, I'm not mad at you. But we're talking. You're asking about the person who thinks that they could come in and make a living, pay their bills doing this shit.
Yep.
Man. I try to talk.
It's a weird time for. I know it's a weird time for this question too, because W-2 isn't what it was 4, 8, 20 years ago.
20 years. Yeah, that's the other thing.
W-2 is a little scary right now too. So I mean,
gig economy is becoming almost. It's like about at least high 30s, 40% of the workforce right now, and it's supposed to be the majority of the workforce in just a few years. So if that be the case, then the understanding is that the gig economy is still maturing. It's still growing, and you kind of have to find your place.
It is.
So
I was talking the other day about 7 nursing apps. It's not just there's 7 and there's probably hundreds, but there's 7 big ones where you can just go around.
Well,
nurse.
Actually, it's funny you would say. I know, like with substitute teaching, it used to be that you went through the school district to be a substitute teacher. Now, you've got like the temp service, like Kelly, that's involved, at least where I'm at. You've got Kelly Services with one school district, but then there's this other place that's kind of like, if you will, Easy Cater, but all the opportunities come up like a gig app.
Yeah.
They come up like a gig app, and you got to be on it or you're going to miss it.
Right.
So everything is going app. A lot of this shit's going app based, which in effect, you have to have some gig app instincts develop some gig app type instincts in order to make this app based shit work. Man, I get, what? I'm inclined to say that it's on a case to case basis. You almost have to want to take somebody off to the side and kind of put your arm around their shoulder and kind of say, hey, kind of point them out.
Well, let's say I was putting you on a presentation to the internet and 4 million people were watching.
Okay.
And you couldn't see them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the answer. I'm just looking for the generic. What do you think?
The generic. What do I think? Then I think at the very core, if you decide that this is what you're going to do, then you're going to have to go into it with the mentality. God damn it, I'm gonna it's sink or swim.
Yeah,
I think at the very minimum.
And if you're that serious about it, and you're coming from a lot of things that are different for me, and I say
then
this
you're
a lot, is I was doing production work since the late 90s. I was, and as a salary, and then it turned into an independent contractor for about 12 years prior to the gig apps. So for me, I had a lot of experience being my own boss, being my own independent contractor,
right?
Knowing and seeing it completely transparent in offers or proposals. Do you want to do this show? Do you want to do these shows? Here's what we'll pay you. Here's the hotel. Here's the flights. I mean, everything. And if something was missing, I could call and ask, what about this? And they'd be like, oh, yeah, like everything. They were as transparent as can be. But so many people that come from W-2 I think the only thing that even weighs in is flexibility. Other than that, independent contractor, I think that language is almost like, I don't care. And it's like, you should, because the DoorDash might not work for you in your market. It might be so
Right.
oversaturated. I mean, who would guess it? But there are some markets that are oversaturated with DoorDash drivers.
Yes. Just like they're oversaturated with Uber Eats and the catering apps and right.
Right. So, but I mean, you might go in there and somebody said, dude, I'm killing it on DoorDash. They've been in there for a while.
Okay. Good for you.
And so maybe they're doing okay, or but they made it sound even better. But you get on there and it doesn't work for you. Same market, everything. You're doing everything. You're talking to them. See, to me, this is where it's like, okay, if you're really getting into this, you need to try other apps. And maybe I don't want to have to do this. I have a few different income streams for me, so that's good. But if I had to at this point, I think this has been an opinion. Full-time jobs are hard to keep right now because they got to pay all your insurance and all this stuff. So that's why a lot of W-2s getting hit. A lot of places always love part-time employees. 8 to 15 hours a week is all you want. I think that it wouldn't be a bad idea to be doing something like that 1 or 2 days a week just to keep your foot in that.
Perhaps so. I thought about, it's funny you would bring something like that up. I also understand why some people are venturing into the gig world and all, and where they have the autonomy that they believe that they have. Not everybody's wired for W-2.
No.
I mean, when I look back, even though I was a newspaper reporter and all, I was not wired for W-2. I was not wired for somebody breathing down my neck or looking over my shoulder and all. I was the one who really craved for the autonomy, and so this type of stuff kind of fits my personality because of the autonomy.
But the times were different too. I mean, I was working in the 80s too, man. I was working at 2 Mexican restaurants. Like,
well, I'm just thinking about within the last 10 years.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking about.
It's night and day. I mean, a lot of people just don't work. I don't even understand how things are working. Like, what do you mean you don't work?
Well, you got a point there. You definitely got a point. But let's just say for sake of conversation, you've been at a W-2 and all, and you find out that your personality does not align with that type of a setting. Maybe doing the gig stuff is gonna be a better match for you, and you may thrive in it. That's the thing too. You have to find out what works. I mean, but I say all this, but you still got bills to be paid.
Yeah,
you still got all these things to be paid. So it's not like you could just be all haphazard, happy jappy slappy silly about this shit. You got to go about this in a responsible manner. And yes, to your point, then you still need to take care of what you need to take care of, and so you may want to wean yourself away from a W-2 instead of jumping all out into the gig world. And a part-time gig may be the best way of doing that.
Yeah,
it may.
I think about part-time work is you'll always be offered shifts. Always, people are always
depending
like,
on what it is.
For me Thursday, man.
Well, my daughter,
like any place I've ever worked, like 1 day a week, I could have worked 5 days a week. People were all the time like, dude, can you sub? Can you sub? Can you?
Well, my daughter gave up a second job that was basically a part-time gig. I guess it was kind of a part-time. She gave it up all the way around because she has a daytime full-time job. But anyway, she had her reasons for doing what she did. But again, we're just to the point about gig economy work and all. I will say this much. I think it's fair to say that it's taking you time to figure out what works for you. It didn't happen overnight. So that means then you got to come into this thinking long term. You got to come into this thinking long term. You can't come into this thinking that, hey, you can't look at this nearsighted and short term looking for the immediate gratification. It's not going to work. That's with anything.
Yeah,
that's with anything. So I think ultimately some of this is going to be one's mindset coming into this, how they go about approaching this. Do they really have a viable strategy, or are they just out there trying to make a quick hustle thing, thinking they should get some quick money? If you go into it like that, shit ain't gonna work. Yeah. Regardless of what you do, it ain't gonna work.
No. And oddly, it's something I almost don't want to say, but my guess is too, and I'm just guessing, but I'm guessing 99% plus of the people who, and this isn't a rip on it, but who come into the gig economy are not bankrolled behind them. Like they're not sitting on 50 grand in their bank.
No.
And this is the move they're making. And that's not a diss on the gig economy. I'm just saying.
Well, you come in, most of us come into this broke and need certain things happen and all. But I guess, maybe I'm setting myself up for a big disappointment with what I'm saying and all. But, yes, most of us come into this needing to make money to take care of things. We got pressing matters and all. And so, I got to do what I got to do. Okay, I get that. But you have to devote some time to thinking of the long game. What's going to get you, how are you going to get to the next day, to the next week, if this is what you're going to do? How are you going to get to the next month?
Yeah. I agree.
How are you going to get to the next month? And, so while, yes, you're still thinking about what you got to take care of today, you also got to devote some time to, again, that long game.
Yeah.
And
figure it out fast too. Get on these apps.
Yes, that's what
it amounts to. You don't worry about what people are saying. Just turn them on. Go. Play. Don't worry about AR and all that. This is my opinion anyway, that I'm adding this little spice, is that don't worry about all that. Just play. See orders, take them, don't take them. One thing I would say, because this is my own personal thing, is if I take them, I'm not a person with a lot of cancellations or whatever. If I take it and it's a bad decision, I usually am like, my bad. It's on me.
Well, yeah, try to learn from those mistakes fast and try not to commit them again. Yeah. I mean, I think what the light clicked on for me on DoorDash back in 2019, where I called myself trying to catch their what do you call the extra $1 when you're out there? What's that called? Like whatever it is, there's a bonus that when you're out there, peak pay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we don't really ever have that here. Once in a while,
okay. Well, peak pay, is that extra $1, $2, $3, $4, $5 sometimes that you get when you turn on the app. Well, back in 2019, you got it within the time that you're out there, within a certain time. So they'll offer it from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock, but you had to accept and complete 80% of your opportunities. That's how you got it back in 2019.
I'm thinking more recent, where it's like peak pay doesn't really ever have an end time. It's just peak pay when it's peak pay.
Yeah, but that's the way it used to be. So this is the lesson that I learned. Okay, so I'm also thinking about, hey, I'm gonna be a good DoorDasher. I'm starting out. I'm trying to keep everything in the green. All the metrics in the green. And so I accepted one that took me almost, in fact, I'm almost in the same position where I took this, where it was an opportunity that took me basically 20 miles from where I'm at now. Okay. And when I completed it, I got $3.50. You telling somebody to feel like a goddamn fool. I got in contact with DoorDash and asked them, well, hey, can y'all bump the pay or something like this? Because y'all had me to go fucking 20 miles for this. Oh, sorry, we can't do that. And then guess what? Because it wasn't completed within the 3 hours, I didn't even get the fucking extra $1. So I learned from that point. I learned, buddy. I learned. That was the last time I took shit like that.
And not only that, you learned, and it was all over $1.
Yes, over a fucking $1. Yes.
Like, come on, man. Look how far you've come then.
Yeah, to where I can pass up on the $300 fucking catering order. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like, no, you were mad about that dollar. That would never
Yes.
happen in your world today.
No,
It would
but it
just be,
didn't happen.
a hard no. No.
Yeah, absolutely. I look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be my response right now. You're right. But again, that's, those are the lessons that you have to, those are the fast lessons that you're going to have to be willing to absorb to keep going and keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I asked it because here's why. Because it's a tough question, man. I get asked it by people getting into this or who have been in it going, I know that it's not just summer slowdown. I know that things are down, but you think it's worth toughing it out. And these are people that I communicate with on email a lot. And I'm like thinking, man, that's a really tough. I don't want to steer you either way wrong, but I'm like, I'm a little torn, to be honest.
Ultimately, you have to make, no matter what you say, no matter how you position yourself as perhaps being as objective as possible, they still got to make that decision.
Oh, and they know that, and I know that. They're just looking for, I've known them. They're looking for a little insight. And I guess I'm pointing out my insights changed a little bit. But at the same time, I think W-2s are very scary. I don't think that, like, it's not for me anymore. That's not what I'm talking about in this moment, though. I'm saying, like, they're not as reliable. Like, I talked a long time ago about, like how a lot of my family members, growing up in Michigan, Detroit, a lot of them worked for Ford. They went to work for Ford, and they worked for Ford till retirement. They worked,
or until they carried you out horizontally. Yeah.
Right. Well, regardless, they worked till retirement, and retirement packages were good. They took care of them. I don't know. I'm just saying that this was how it was. You worked for one company.
Pretty much, yes.
Like now, we used to talk about how there was a stat how you'll probably work for, I think it was 5 to 9 in a lifetime. This was like a couple of years ago. Now I'm thinking, I don't even know if there's going to be W-2 work, like much of it. Like they're just, everything's getting paced out. And it's like, they always cover up in job reports, even in years past. And now it's like, they're just even admitting, well, that sector's gone. Like, it's like, whoa, it's like, well, the large language models like Chat GPT and others can do all that. So we don't need them. Like, what? I don't know.
If for nothing else now, speaking of Ford, I saw a headline where Ford had to hire back some engineers because the AI models that they had created didn't meet the standards. Meet the production
That's
standards.
The funniest thing you just said, the standard.
I'm using that word, but
I know I'm questioning whoever made that standard, and I'd like to see it. I always joke about this stuff because the standards in that space are so low that if you're failing it, it means you really are doing bad.
Okay. Well, they must they said garbage in, garbage out, so there must be some real shitty shit that they got in place for them to have to hire back people.
General Motors had one of the AVs, and they were doing level 4 testing, but it's all fake, the level 4, even the Waymo and stuff does. But they had all of these vehicles, these cruise vehicles out, and other vehicles that were doing AV, and they were calling it level 4. And when they finally just said, no more, we're done, because they had a few issues, and they moved them back to level 2. And level 2 is like assist parking, or when you're veering off the road, the road, I don't know if it's like the roadside assist that pulls you back on. What I'm talking about? Like if it hits the on a highway.
Right.
That's level 2. That's very basic. And that's like from 10 years ago. They've gone back to that. They didn't even go back to 3. They went from 4 to 2.
So they really have not developed.
It proved to me that, dude, Ford doesn't exist for any of these companies. That's just a lie. And so,
well, I hope I attempted to answer that question, man. But that's a hard,
man.
I agree. That's kind of a tough one.
I hope everybody that watches thinks about it for themselves. If you're watching on the replay, you've already seen it at this point. But I hope when I ask Geezer, or even tonight, that you guys for yourselves thought about it in that moment. That's at that moment, I want other people to think, because it's not just you that would be stumped. It's a hard question, but I think it should be thought through by people, because I know a lot of people who get too mad and they take it out in some really bad ways. Even people on social media platforms, like they just not earning enough after they've been jamming for a while, or seasons change or something changes, and their attitude changes and their anger, and it's a crazy space. And I say to people, make sure you want to be here. I mean,
well,
make sure you're trying to make it work.
Well, it's funny you would say that. I mean, I saw my sister this past weekend, and my sister, in part, is the reason why I somehow got discovered gig economy, because when she came out to visit 10 years ago, she told me that, she'll get a Uber from the airport. I had never heard of that. I thought it was a new cab company. I told her I'd come pick you up, right? And then a couple of weeks later, I'm looking into something to try to help, because I'm struggling as an insurance agent at the time. Looking into something for extra money. I saw Uber. You can make X number of dollars an hour doing Uber or Lyft.
Yep.
And so on a Tuesday, of course, this is 2016 now, but on a Tuesday, I submitted my stuff. That Friday, I was on the app accepting.
Yeah. When I got on Lyft, you had to Uber. When I got on Uber, they were right close together. I think it was 2015 anyway. But when I got on those, Lyft did it, Uber didn't. But no joke, guys, for those, because it ended about a year after I got on. But they had a person that you had to go meet.
Yes, on Lyft. Yeah.
Yeah, who would tell you about Lyft. He would be like,
yes.
You had to go meet like a mentor. But my mentor was the worst, dude. Like, I swear, this is what he told me. I was like, he's like, just meet me at this park. Obviously, this was a thing they were doing. They were paying these mentors like $30 to come meet us and talk for 5 minutes. But I was like, so how's it work? Because I already knew. And I'm like, so I turned the app on. What else do I need to know? He's like, nothing, dude. You can sit at home. You can just ignore him. You can just, it's like, I could tell this is not what they told him to say. And he had just made it his own way. He's like, dude, you don't have to do anything. You can just sit there.
If memory serves me correct,
yeah.
I met somebody in the parking lot of a Home Depot and ended up helping the guy change a tire. True story. It was on a Saturday morning.
It was just so funny to me. I was like, why are they paying this guy to tell me this? I was thinking how weird it was, because I was like, I already knew. He definitely, this is not Lyft content. Like, you're making this up, dude. You're actually telling me something that you're doing, maybe, but it's definitely, as I went on with a few weeks, I'm like, wow, he was wrong about everything.
Yeah.
And yet he was the mentor. It's like, but they used to have him. I don't know. It was crazy.
Yeah, and the guy also gave me access. He gave me one of those Square readers, because they didn't tip at the time. So he gave me a complimentary Square reader for my phone, and but it was a while before I actually took Lyft Lyft rides in South Carolina. That's the way the market was. But yeah, I remember it was it was a pretty easy process and all. Man, the things that we do, the things that we do, yeah. But 10 years later, I'm talking about this shit in retrospect. But man, that's a tough one. I just think that it just seems to me that it's an individual thing, and it's going to be how you go about approaching things that's going to really be the difference between you sinking and swimming. You can have access to all the apps and all that, but if you go about it the wrong way, having all those apps didn't prove anything for you.
Right.
That's just my opinion. There's a content creator out there who's had access to all these fucking apps. Now he's not even doing that. Somehow he crashed and burned.
Yeah.
So obviously he went about things the wrong way. That's just my opinion. So you have to figure out how to how to get yourself on a course that gets you again to the next day, to the next week, to the next month, and possibly into the next year. That's the thing. That's the trick. That's the $64,000 question. How do you figure out a strategy?
And maybe also really not on top of keeping your expenses, which guys, there's so many apps out there. So I'm not promoting one here. I'm just telling you, pick one, pick your poison. There's a lot of good ones, but track your stuff, do it on pen and paper. I don't care. Track your stuff, but make sure you're tracking your real-time earnings too.
Yeah.
Like, don't even look at the active time shit. I know that most of you guys already know this, but in case you're watching this, don't even look at it. Just look at your total hours you're out there. And if you used to work 50 hours to make $1,000 a week, and now you're like, I still make 1,000, but you notice that you're up to 82 hours a week. But you
got to reevaluate,
dynamically change your life, really. Because
I
know that a lot of you are younger than Geezer and I. I know this, and I know that we're actually pretty good shape, So here's my thing, though: what you do, feel it when you get older.
Yes. Your body will tell you. You will use a few. You will pop a few more Tylenols.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of which, I have checked out. I have checked out well over the past year with everything. Yeah, everything. So,
yeah. Well, hey, thank you for joining. Always fun. You guys, if you want to make a lot of money, up your game. Try something new. Maybe you don't buy something, rent. But if you missed the beginning of this, look at what he's been doing. And it's not just this year. He's been doing this for years. Like, that's why I always love having him on as a guest, because it's different than anything what most of us are doing. There could be a few in here catching it, that are like, I do Sprinter van too, or whatever. But for the bigger vehicles plus and the bigger money plus, but also maybe a larger risk in your market, depends. Geezer's a good person to talk to, and so check out his channel. I think I have it right here. I'm sure I do.
Yeah, Gig Geezer. Yeah, that old guy. That old guy,
Yep. It's not that old guy. It's right there. It's also in the description. And you guys, whenever he's here, for those of you wondering, like, how the hell how you getting away with playing these P-Funk songs? The last couple times I've done these, like, I've actually got a thing that says you're revenue sharing with P-Funk. And I'm like, I don't care. Like,
yeah. You don't care, but I fought them on mine and got them to remove it.
I mean, I was honored a little bit. I'm like, that's fine, man. I used your video. That's like,
I argued with them because I said, hey, it was at the end and it was only for like 30 seconds. So they backed off.
Maybe. But I do have an outro here for us, and it's this. I always use part of this, and it's got a couple other parts mixed in, but this is actually just the 3.5 minute song. I know you guys might want to bounce out, but you shouldn't. This is the one and only Glenn Goins. I don't care if you listen to funk or not. Geezer
young guy. Man, he was a young guy.
Amazing voice, amazing vocals, and he always walks us out of here real well. So you guys, please have an awesome week. Be safe, be smart, and don't leave till this is over.
Steve.
Got to leave, y'all. Gotta go. Something's missing that I need. I need to find, whatever it is. Blowing in my mind, this train. They say, bring up a child, and the way he shall go, he shall not depart. And oh, when they said it, oh, she touched my heart, yeah. Don't worry. I'm just walking around. that's come into your mind tonight. Until the next